That's what I like to do.
Get this video recording, document my
Yeah.
adventures on the high sea when I take out the boat.
Boom.
Y'all haven't seen Mark Briscoe's interview about the boat. Please go find it. It's him and Jay trying to get back together. And we were just discussing a moment ago. I do not remember the announcer lady for Ring of Honor's name. She's the girl with the bow tie. I just don't ever remember her name. But basically, she's like playing a marriage counselor for the Briscoe brothers. And dude, I always talk so much about the Briscoes, but it's because I just think there's nobody half as good as them at doing. I'll take that back. I personally, if you ask me who the best professional wrestler on earth is right now, I'm going to tell you it's Bayley, and I will tell you why. But the Briscoes are way up there, too. And it's just, Mark is funny. But to be, for my dime, the most legit gonna beat the hell out of you, dude, in pro wrestling, man. Jay Briscoe's funny as shit, too, dude. It's so awful. So the boat, it's worth watching, man.
Mm-hmm.
But but I was thinking about this today. I was out walking, and I was just thinking about wrestlers and like who I think is the best. And the reason I picked Bayley as the best pro wrestler on earth at the moment is, as we've talked about many times before, going back to her NXT days.
Mm-hmm.
She got something over that nobody else can get over. Nobody else can play white meat, babyface like that, 90s style babyface and get it over.
Yeah.
Rock hadn't tried it. Cena couldn't do it. Roman Reigns couldn't do it. Lesnar can't. Nobody else could do that. That's amazing that she was able to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And she gets to the main roster, and the 14-year-olds that watch main roster WWE that are way too sophisticated for that stupid good guy crap cry and whine for her to be a heel. Then they make her a heel. And then she's better at that than everybody, too. And it's like, there's nobody else that can do that. She's the best, man. It's unreal. And her matches were quite good, too. I've always thought her matches were underrated, but, man, Bayley's real good, man. Anyhow.
Oh, heck yeah, man.
Yeah, we're just launching right into it, man. We just done shoved the boat away from the dock, man.
Bayley. Talking about Bayley just remind me of the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view was Sunday night, and I watched that and dug it just fine. Yeah. But one thing I think I might have enjoyed even more than the show was right after it, Sasha Banks was on the Stone Cold Sessions, Broken Skull Sessions, or whatever they're called.
That's cool, man.
And it was a dang good interview. You know, I mean, for somebody that you haven't really heard a whole heck of a lot from, you know. Something about sitting down with Steve. I'm like, I'll show up for that.
We've talked about it before, man, and I'm glad to say that from what I understand, it's really held up with the transition to being WWE Network. I mean, his show has always been so good, and he's a dude that everybody respects the crap out of, and he's such a big fan that he's just a great interviewer. So I'm really, really glad that it's just like, nah, man, it's not like it was back in the day, but as far as interviews and whatnot, ain't nothing changed. He's still Steve, and people still warm up to him, and you get real good stuff. So that's awesome, man.
Yeah. And recently, as far as his podcast goes, I mean, he has hinted at doing it again, but, you know, with his feed, every once in a while, there'll be one of his classics that downloads, like, oh, I'll listen to that again.
Yeah, buddy.
You know, I remember that being really good, or one that I didn't even know existed.
Yeah, man.
And really, I think one of the surprising things about the Sasha interview is I expected to really not care for her. And like most good interviewers, you know, he makes you see, okay, she's not as prickly as I've heard.
Yeah,
she really comes off really well.
Sasha always seemed to me to be the one that when WWE absolutely positively had to get people out of Randy Orton's ass for what a prick he was, they just threw Sasha under the bus. Mm-hmm. And to be fair, it's been a long time since I heard any, except for, like we talked about, except for the gym stuff, which he's completely right about. Apparently, Randy really married the right girl. I've heard that a couple of times, that he's just a real different guy since he got married, because him and his wife get along great, and she brings out the best in him, and I'm like, now that's just cool. I'm glad to hear that. I'm sorry, I need to turn this thing down, but I will explain. I've done posted. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Howdy.
I know that you know this, and this is real stupid, but I'm gonna tell you anyway, and I'm gonna tell all the people watching too. The professional
protein drink.
Oh, thank you. The professional sports authenticators, I think, is what it stands for, as far as trading cards are concerned. Brother, if you got anything that you want to sell, now's the time. That shit might as well be called Bitcoin. My good God. I've taken my Pujols because I don't need it. It's not the one that I want, but I got it. I know I told you. And this is an example. The man and I have been discussing PSA for a long time. Here's an example of how much it's changed. I have the 2001 Ichiro rookie card, which I love because, one, it says Ichiro Suzuki, which is just neat because it's really unusual to have both names on there, but also he's playing defense. It's just him throwing the ball back in, but I love it because Ichiro's the man, but defensively and running the bases, he was so awesome. So I love that card. And I always had that one, and then I came across one that was graded an 8. And at the time, you could get 8s for a song.
Yeah.
And I decided that I wanted to match that in Pujols from the setup because I wanted the Pujols card, but to get one ungraded at the time was about 3 times as much as I paid for the one that I bought.
Yeah.
So I listed that sucker.
A weird role reversal on that these days.
No kidding, because I posted my Pujols 8 earlier this afternoon, and I started at $25 because there was another one that was going, and I just researched it and found out the guy started his at $25. Understand, if you don't eBay stuff, you might not know this, but Jared knows what I'm talking about, man. That's literally 4 bids I've already got on that thing. It's been up for hours, and it's got 4 bids already, and I'm like, let's go, baby, because it's just, that stuff doesn't happen. You get watchers and you get people that wait, but, man, you get people bidding on something that early. That's shocking. I'm assuming that the other one I was watching ended and people came over and tried to find, like, okay, what else? What else? Because it's cool with me, man. Just whatever people want to do. But
it takes a lot for because I'm an eBay snake. Wait till the last minute to bid on something if I'm going to bid on it. But it takes a good price for me to be watching this to be like, done with you. You know.
It's true. For people to throw down money that early is unusual. So I'm like, all right, cool, man. But I'm thinking that it might be some knee-jerk people that missed out on that other one because I understand it works that way. I've only put 2 things up on eBay recently, and the other one is my Criterion Blu-ray of Chungking Express, because the Criterion Blu-ray of Chungking Express is long since out of print. At the end of next month, the Wong Kar-wai box set's coming out. And so if I put it up before, I'd have got more money for it. But that's okay, because all I'm trying to do, I'm trying to make as much money as I can to put towards the box set when it comes out. I have a gift card from Christmas. I need $75. And I sold it. I sold it for $76. But then 4 days later, the guy still hadn't paid me, so I canceled it. And I relisted it. But let me tell you why that turned out to be a good thing. Wong Kar-wai had 2 movies that were released Criterion Collection. Chungking Express is one. In the Mood for Love is the other. In the Mood for Love's not out of print. But, hey, man, I'm buying the box set. They're both in there. I don't need it. So it's like, why don't you list them together? Yeah, totally. So why don't you list them together? If it runs it up and gets you anything else, that's a nice bonus. And if not, hey, you saved on shipping because you're going to throw them in one box and mail them off together. So that's good stuff. Especially, it's a strange thing because I know...
It's a spot holder gone.
That's our thing. I know that you and I are very much on the... If it's Criterion, I love Criterion, but if they take them and put them in a box set, that's what I want. I don't care about spine numbers. I don't care about individuals, and I'm not a completionist. I do not need every copy of everything. Like, there's the one guy on, for Pete's sake, it's Daisuke, and I cannot remember his last name, but he does, I think it's Daisuke in Tokyo, I think is his username. And he has a show on YouTube that's nothing but Criterions, and he is amazing. I mean, his collection is unbelievable. The guy is super cool, and I love it. But every time I see his collection, I'm blown away because, honest to God, he has multiples of all the DVDs, all the Blu-rays, all the everythings. I think that's awesome, but that ain't never going to be what I want to do.
I don't get that.
I don't need to do that, so I'm very happy. If you're going to put it in a box, yes, I will happily sell them off. It's also, that's got me tripped up on something else that's frustrating me. And again, I'm locked in. I'm good for, trying to sell this stuff is good. But freaking Jean-Luc Goddard, man, the French director who is pretty godly. I mean, he is one of the world elites for movie making historically. And I've got several of his movies over there, and that's real cool. But one day I did a little deep dive, a little research on the Criterion website and also Wikipedia. And I think he made 13 movies in his lifetime, and they've released 12 of them or something crazy like that. And I'm like, they're going to get that last one and put them all in a box set. So what I've stopped buying the individuals, and I'm just going to try and wait. And it sucks because there's about 3 of them I really want to see, but it's like, crap. But we talked about it before, man. Criterion TV is $11 a month. $100 for a year, which I wouldn't need a year. I would just do the month thing because I could certainly get out before then. But dude, apparently you get 2 weeks just to mess around with it, which I'm like, that's unbelievable, man. So
it's rare.
Yeah. I'm like, well, maybe what I'll do is make a list of the Goddard stuff I want to see and use my week or my 2 weeks, and knock those out as best I can. It'll keep me from buying them.
Clear some space on the calendar and. Dude, get my movie films watched.
Seriously, I know. Speaking of clearing the calendar, man, I did look up the other day to see when WandaVision's last episode is. So now I know.
It's official now. It was announced today. There's 2 more.
Yeah, man. So I'm like, okay, I've got my date and I've got my alarm set to go off the next day. So it's like, okay, hook it up, see what you got. And and I feel bad because I'm a total snake because my buds that are like, well, when you watch WandaVision, you're going to watch Mandalorian too. And I'm telling you, I've never once said yes. I never said I was going to watch it. It's just, well, you got Disney Plus now. You got to watch Mandalorian. But the thing is, as you know, I am not signing up for Disney Plus. I'm signing up for WandaVision. And I'm signing up for Hulu. And that's the main thing is as soon as I'm done with WandaVision, I got lots of stuff on Hulu I want to watch. So I'm going to switch over, man. I'll get there. Eventually, one day I'll get there. But I just have to. I have to go on record by making it very clear. I never, ever told anybody I was going to watch that show because I got other things I need to look at.
And it's fine enough. But I would put WandaVision. That's definitely more pressing. Mm-hmm. I mean, Mandalorian will be there. Ain't going no worse.
Absolutely. And that's the thing that I love so much. I was talking to my neighbor about this the other day. We were talking about the trial of the Chicago 7 because I knew she'd be interested. But I asked her, I was like, do you got Netflix? And she's like, no, I don't. I'm like, that's all right. I'll tell you why. Through my lovely benefactors who hooked me up in so many things, I got access to Netflix. And there's a movie called The Trial of the Chicago 7. You got to watch it. The upside is it's one of their movies, so it's never going anywhere. Same thing with the Disney Plus originals, man. That's their content. It's going to be there for as long as there's a Disney Plus, which means forever.
Yeah. I mean, it's a weird thing when it comes to the Star Wars stuff that has come out since Disney took over. I mean, my favorite stuff is stuff that has can't really say it has nothing to do with any of the originals, but the non-saga stuff. Yeah. That's the ones that I can go back to and watch and enjoy a lot more. And I would put Mandalorian in with that just because it's damn good, and that's the best review you can give, and that's kind of that the best review that I can give, and short and sweet and to the point. But that's as far as WandaVision goes. I mean, there was some rumors that came out coming into this last episode that really pissed me off. not that anything was spoiled, and I'm not going to do that because I don't like to do anything to anyone that I don't like done to me. So if you're watching this, I can talk about it spoiler free. Going into the episode this past Friday night, this rumor came out on the internet like, oh man, they're gonna have the last 3 episodes pay an hour apiece, and people got excited about it. I was like, why? Well, what makes you think that? But apparently, somewhere down the line, and like I don't know if it was a conference call or whatever it was, there was the runtime was announced, and somebody did the math and tried to figure it up, and thought, well, there's 3 episodes left. In theory, based on the runtime, they're going to be an hour each. Like, you don't know that. Nobody at Disney ever said, "You got us." You correct. code, and so it turned out to not be true. But now it's like it's the frustrating thing about watching the show as it's running and watching people's reviews of it is people go way too in depth with their come find the fine tooth comb. I gotta find the secret before anybody else does.
Yeah, seriously, and that's
And
that's what I
there was
can.
a meme that came out this past week because everybody's trying to discover who's going to be the big reveal at the end. And so there was a meme that came out. I don't know what movie it was from or what it was from, but it was this picture of a character and a butterfly landing on his hand. He goes, "Are you Mephisto?"
Dude, it's like, man, y'all hang in there. It's gonna be fine. We're all gonna get there. It'll be cool.
Yeah. That my where we're at in the story as of right now, as far as my review of WandaVision, is I'm scared for Wanda because she's been messing with them dark arts hardcore.
Yeah, buddy.
And I felt really dumb because the big reveal at the end of this past episode and who had been playing this character the entire season did not even dawn on me who Kathryn Hahn.
I was gonna say it's Kathryn Hahn, right?
And I'm.
Oh, I know who,
dude.
I know who she is, brother. Because I'm here to say I'm proud of myself. I got that one a long time. As soon as she showed up in that black witch hat, I'm like, right on. I love it. I'm so happy about that.
I guess my thing was I did not recognize her from the lady, her character from the Step Brothers. Something about the dark hair, and there's a really neat thing they do when they reveal who she is.
Mm-hmm.
There's a show. There's a basically her own intro to her own show, Agatha All Along, with her like monsters theme going, and it kind of shows her pulling the strings around town, and she can change her look more than anybody. And I felt like I knew who she was, but it's kind of like it felt like I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, this is a stupid thing to say because of the Step Brothers thing, but Kathryn Hahn for me has always been girl John C. Reilly. In that John C. Reilly, but in reverse, I should say, because John C. Reilly, man, used to do like very serious, dramatic motion pictures, and he was real good at them. Real good at him. Watch him in Gangs of New York. You want that guy to die. He is the worst. And then the Paul Thomas Anderson stuff. Sometimes he's very funny in those. Sometimes, like Officer Jim Curran from Magnolia. There's funny things in it because it's just like the straight-laced Dudley Do-Right is all good. But man, when he has to get in there and he has to really like pull at your heart, he's a great actor. And now he's just doing the comedy stuff he always wanted to do. Yeah. Kathryn Hahn's the complete opposite. I saw Kathryn Hahn in just comedic stuff, and she was awesome. She was Anchorman and Step Brothers. She's good in all that stuff. Yeah. But it's cool to see her get to do serious stuff now too. But as far as more comedy stuff, I am 100% with you. She did a car commercial not that long ago for some minivan or something like that, and she had the black hair. And I'm with you. It took me I saw that commercial 3 or 4 times from like I know who that is, but it was her voice. And then what she looked like, it took me forever to put together. I'm like, I think that's who that is. And then I had to look it up. But I'm totally with you on how different. She really, really looks very, very different. It's odd. It's just the hair color. Just like Emma Stone. Emma Stone, whom everybody assumes is a redhead, actually isn't. Her hair from the blonde from Birdman. That's her natural hair. And I mean, she looks great. Whatever I love her. I'm a huge fan, and she looks great no matter what she does. But I can still tell it's her. Kathryn Hahn, I'm like, that is who that is. I totally with you.
Yeah, and man, that's it's the good and bad part of watching the show is I make sure to avoid YouTube. And I don't go on Twitter, so I don't have to worry about that.
Yeah,
but
buddy.
I come home and I get my episode watched, and I guess I'm just as guilty as everybody else because that's the first thing I do is I got to go watch everybody's review video. And but this a lot of people have been trying to speculate, well, what's this going to mean going forward, and what's the next thing to come, and will Falcon and Winter Soldier have anything to do with it? It's like, I think Falcon and Winter Soldier is going to be that kind of Spider-Man Far From Home kind of thing. Like, we need a break. So here's you some action, shoot 'em up 18 shit.
Yeah, I can't imagine it not being that. Yeah, man. I think it's cool. They haven't missed so far, but I do like how, to be honest with you, man, because the Agatha Harkness thing I guess that's the one spoiler I've run across, and it was a picture of Kathryn Hahn sitting in the chair with Agatha across the back, and I'm like, because that's what, as soon as I saw her in the preview, I'm like, she's got to be a big effing deal, because Kathryn Hahn, dude, she's like a very good actress. They're not going to dick around with that. And then it occurred to me, and I'm like, boy, I hope that's who it is. So I'm thrilled about that, because with Wanda, that's a massive, massive character. So now if we're going to have Stephen Strange and Agatha Harkness battling over the soul of Wanda Maximoff, and it's freaking Cumberbatch and Kathryn Hahn, boy, I'm in. That's just cool. And then, like we said, if we're going to get Mephisto, okay. If we're going to get Magneto, which that's still what I'm hoping for. I still ultimately hope that's where all this is going. But that's exciting stuff, man. But the one thing is, the thing I'm most happy about with WandaVision is that, and maybe I guess it depends on if you go and watch YouTube reviews or stuff like that, but as far as avoiding spoilers, 100% I'm with you. If you're not on Twitter, you're fine. But as far as Instagram goes, ain't nobody talking about it, because it's like, this is different. This is massive. And I'm like, sweet. I love it, because everybody in the fucking world is watching it, but nobody's talking about it. I'm like, I love that. That is just so cool.
If what I heard is true, and I'm not one of those people that's up watching it at 12 a.m. when it
drops.
Technically drops.
When it drops.
It shut the shit down.
I'm sure it did. And see, that's my whole thing. People only do that so they can do this. I'm like, man, I ain't interested in being that. I'm not interested in being first that bad. So it's my same thing. We used to watch we would watch Game of Thrones on premiere night, and I hate it because it crashes 10,000 times. We watch pay-per-views. It's like, dude, give it an hour, and people will get the hell off. And I'm like, that stuff makes me nuts, man.
And for the most part, one of the frustrating things about watching some reviews, not all reviews, but some, is you do get those guys going on doing that Skip Bayless horse shit. It's like, I'm going to predict everything so I can come back and say, I predicted it.
Sure.
It's like, oh, man, just get out of my face with that bullshit.
I love predictions. I am Mr. Fantasy Booker, but the part where the line that I draw with Skip Bayless is, Skip will predict this, and he'll predict that, and then he'll do this, and then he'll do that, and it's every possible outcome. So, yeah, you're probably going to be right. If you wind up taking both teams and picking 4 different guys to win the MVP, you better be right.
Sooner or later,
you better be right.
Yeah. That's what I was trying to say. It feels like some of these people predictions, like, okay, we could see any number of these characters show up, or maybe we won't.
What this book presupposes is,
are you Mephisto?
Maybe you did. I absolutely love maybe he did. And I think the reason I like it so much is, 1, it's hilarious. 2, it's Owen Wilson. And anymore, I can't think of Owen Wilson without thinking about Melissa Villaseñor doing her impression of Owen Wilson. I think more of her doing it than I think of him speaking for himself. It's ridiculous, man.
Yeah. I can't even do Owen Wilson very well, but.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow.
Okay, yeah. That's my favorite thing. Is if you can do the one-word impersonation, then you got somebody down.
It's quite good, man. I saw this tweet one time that was post of Princess Diana in sunglasses, and the third picture was Owen Wilson, and Owen Wilson himself replied, "Oh wow, that's just awesome." Which Princess Diana reminds me, that's my other thing I've been doing is, and like we're talking about with, I'm with you, man. If I want to see something, I want to see it. I don't care about seeing it first, and I damn sure don't care about reviewing it first, because what a waste of time. I just think it's a waste of time. because I'd rather watch it and see it. But I've been going through The Crown. I'm on Netflix and I've been doing The Crown, and it's shockingly good, especially like the one-off episodes. That's always my favorite thing in like ensemble TV shows.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, I love ensemble shows. I would much rather have a lot of different characters to pick from than here's this character, and then we'll kind of talk about these guys. That's way cooler when you just bounce around. But when you bounce around every episode and you decide to take a breath and focus on this character this time, it's very cool. They did that on Girls several times. They never did one for Shoshana, which I'm still so mad about, because an episode of Shoshana when she was working in Japan would have been the coolest. But the single most popular episode of that entire show was the one where they did that for Marnie, which I hate because I thought Marnie was the worst. I hate that character, but it's Allison Williams, and people that like her love her, so whatever. And the episode wasn't bad. There was one thing I wish that they had changed about it, but that's nitpicky stuff. But there's an episode, I think, in season 2 called One Man's Trash. Brother, I'm telling you, that's the single best episode of that show, and one of the single best episodes of any TV show I've ever seen. And it's so cool because it's just Hannah, and she goes to this dude's house and basically winds up becoming his, like, it's hard to explain, but basically it's like a, what was that movie called? I think it was called Intimacy was the name of the movie. And it's the girl from the Blair Witch Project. That's the easiest way to tell people if they're interested in watching it to find it. And it's porny as crap. You need to know before you watch it. It's very, very porny. But the whole idea is just these two people that strike up this connection. It's not even it's not even like a conversation. It's just this connection. And they go to work and they do their work and it's all good. And they meet up in this basically abandoned apartment and have completely random sex. They don't know each other's names, don't know shit about each other, but it's an interesting movie. One Man's Trash kind of had that vibe to it, but it's hard to explain. But that episode of the show absolutely blew me. That was when I watched it. I was like, Lena Dunham needs to be making movies. Not needs to, but I can't wait till she makes movies. And I'm afraid that she's never going to now because she don't need to. She'll live off the HBO residuals forever, and that's okay. But it was exciting. The idea of her movie career was very exciting because that episode was awesome. It was cool, too, because, like, the guy that she was seeing was Patrick Wilson, who everything that guy shows up in, I am always so impressed by. Man, I thought he was really good in Watchmen. He's absolutely incredible in Little Children, man. Little Children, that is a shockingly good movie. But every time that dude shows up, I'm glad to see him. Anyway, I got sidetracked. But yeah, the ensemble stuff where then you decide, let's talk about this character. Crown's the exact same way. They have a couple of Princess Margaret episodes, which this is cruddy, but I'm going to say it anyway because I want to put this out into the world. The actresses that play Princess Margaret on that show, because there's a switch after 2 seasons, that's where I got so confused. I got so confused because I knew that Claire Foy was getting a lot of praise for her portrayal of Queen Elizabeth II. Then Olivia Colman starts getting praise for her portrayal of Queen Elizabeth II. And I'm like, how many Netflix shows are there about the House of Windsor? And it turns out there's one. They just switched the cast halfway through. I'm like, oh, I feel so much better now.
Okay.
The actresses that play
Princess they're just going to do the show like Boyhood and just have them age.
Dude, seriously, that's what I was expecting. They jump. There's a big jump cut right there in the middle. And it's cool. I mean, it's a good decision. But the actresses that play Princess Margaret in the second half, it's Helena Bonham Carter. So this is obviously a home run hitter. I mean, because, you know, everybody, I don't know anyone that doesn't like her, man. Everybody, it's one of the coolest things about her as an actress is if you've seen her, okay, that's part of it because she's a real pretty lady. But it's I don't know anybody. She's like the David Bowie of actors in that Bowie's a great looking dude and Bowie has some real cool songs, but every single person I know that likes Bowie, it's all of it, man. It's never just a real simple thing. There's always, it's the layers. People love how layered that guy is. She's the same way.
May not be your cup of tea, but you're not going to convince me that she was bad in anything.
Oh, dude. She's
always good.
Yeah, totally. She's like always either rock solid, excellent, or over the moon. Oh my God, and that's real cool. And what's cool about it is she's the second half. The first half is an actress that I didn't know, and oh man, her name just shot right out of my head. I can give y'all something else. Vanessa Kirby, her name just came back. The actress that played Princess Margaret in the first half is Vanessa Kirby, and she did a movie. Netflix has a movie called Pieces of a Woman, which is quite difficult to watch. It's excellent, but it's pretty. Definitely read the synopsis first, and then if it doesn't sound like your thing, no need to watch it. But
Don't push play.
Yeah, dude, yeah, she was real good in it. But it's like definitely check it out. And then if it does sound like your thing, by all means. But it's her and Shia LaBeouf, and I bring it up for a really cruddy reason. But if you're going to cast somebody that's supposed to grow up and turn into Helena Bonham Carter, you kind of need to swing for the fences just in the physical appearance facet. Vanessa Kirby, honest to God, I had to pause the thing, catch my breath, run it back, and then watch the show. She is distractingly lovely. I mean, she blew me away just physically. I'm like this, and it's like, dude, you're missing the show. So I backed it up and caught up with the show. But it happens sometimes where you'll see somebody that is just so breathtaking that it'll just take you completely out of watching the show. And I'm like, oh, damn, I'm enjoying this. Go back.
I think the actress' name is Thadia Newton. She was Tandy Newton.
Tandy Newton. Oh yeah.
Anytime she's anything, I'm kind of like, I can't even concentrate.
Dude, I get it. I understand, man. I understand that Tandy Newton's very, very pretty, so I can understand where you're coming from, man. It's
Would you stop?
Yeah. There are several.
You
people
look like that.
There are several people I'm like that with. I would like that with Penelope Cruz. Penelope Cruz is in a lot of movies that I really like, but she's in a lot of movies that I really like. I had to watch twice before I saw them. I can tell you that.
Yeah. So, a couple scenes go by and thought, oh, man, it's like when you're driving, you're just kind of like, how did I even get here?
That might be the most perfect allegory on earth. That is fantastic, because I'm with you. It's like, dude, this is episode 4. What the hell? You're totally right. That's really good. I like that,
man. I'm really bad to be just kind of like reading a book and just kind of not taking anything in, just kind of doing the motion and get a few pages like, okay, I've got to go back. I have no clue what's happening.
I've definitely had to subtract page numbers before. I understand totally. Yeah. It's interesting when I don't do that.
I hate when this happens.
Dude, if I ever come across something where I don't do it or I do it infrequently, that's when I know I'm reading a banger. That's when I know I've got a real good one. I actually can stay locked in and not have to go back. Like even the last thing I read that really did it for me was after I watched I'm Thinking of Ending Things. I could not believe that was a book. It really surprised me that was a book. And I'm like, how in the world would you write this as a book? So then I read the book to find out. And the answer is, if you watch the movie up to a very certain point, which is basically when they go to the high school and he throws the ice cream away, everything from the beginning up to then is pretty much exactly the same. It's an interesting book. I liked it. I thought the movie was better, but that happens to me a lot. There's a lot of things where I like the movie better. But the book was cool. Book was definitely cool, and I just enjoyed it. I'm hoping. I know we talked about it all the time, and I forget her damn name all the time. But Jessie, whatever her name is in that movie, I'm still very much hoping we'll get an Oscar nomination. And she ain't got to win. I just want her to get nominated because she was out of this world good in that movie, man.
They've got to be getting close.
Yeah.
It's usually around Valentine's Day. If they haven't done it by then, it's got to be within the next week or two.
Yeah, I'm feeling the same way. Like, okay, it can't be too long.
Yeah. But these are uncertain times. That was in certain times.
Seriously, those Oscar nominations were in certain times. These are unprecedented times.
Yes.
Your unprecedented nominees are.
Thank you for reminding me, Nissan and Burger King.
God, everybody in the whole wide world. Speaking of which, man, dude, I'm going to go ahead and admit this on YouTube. Do you know how fucking stupid I felt when I realized that the Nissan's knockoff Captain Marvel is actually Brie Larson?
Yeah.
I'm like, well, no wonder it made me think of her. I felt like I was so like, God. So they are really hitting the Captain Marvel vibe hard in these commercials. Then you find out they cast her to be in them, and I'm like, well, I'm just dumb as a bag of shit, man. I was like, you fucking idiot.
Well, goddamn.
Well, just fuck me.
Well, shit then.
Well, I'm very stupid.
I did that same kind of deal. It was like I'm watching the commercial and it's kind of like, why Captain Marvel in that car?
Dude, seriously.
Oh, that's Captain Marvel.
And I looked it up on Google and I'm like, yo, who's the girl in the Nissan commercials? And it says Brie Larson. I'm like, well, good goddamn. And that's just
well.
Exactly, dude. I couldn't help it. Like, God, I love stuff like that. There are certain things that I will do that are so dumb that it brings me joy to tell people how stupid I can be.
Man, that's where I was at when it finally dawns on me. Like, Kathryn Hahn's playing who?
Kathryn Hahn. Wait a minute. That's who was playing what?
Huh? I do that far too often.
Yeah, me too. Way more than I'd like to admit. But anytime I find it funny, I'll talk about it.
Yeah. But that's pretty much where I was at. It's like I just kind of, it's something about it. It just all kind of came together in that moment, I had to, because I was kind of getting the feels that's who that was, but then it really came through. It was like, oh yeah, that's the lady that was in the, and just something about her look, and then they do a good job going through the decades to kind of, you don't going in knowing, and I guess I didn't do my due diligence and really know who was in the cast going in, so that's what I'm trying to tell myself is don't feel so bad.
Oh yeah, no, I can dig it. I like that. The last time I actually saw the cast of Captain Marvel of WandaVision, she was still listed as Nosy Neighbor, which I'm like, yeah, right on. But I just I remember that ad but I'm with you. The thing about recognizing her in the ad where she's talking to the Vision, dude, it's the black hair car commercial because I'm just like, damn, that lady looks like Kathryn Hahn. Then I listen to her voice and it's like, that's got to be who that is. But man, it wasn't quite as bad as Brie Larson because, Brie Larson in Captain Marvel and Brie Larson in the Nissan commercial, same color hair, same color eyes, same color everything. I'm just dumb. But with Kathryn Hahn, it's like, that's got to be who that is. And then you find out it is. It's like, well, okay then. She looks real different with black hair. It's fascinating. It's interesting to me that any one person can be that attractive in so many different ways. It's like, with Emma Stone, with Emma Stone, I get it. It's like, well, yeah, her hair's different, but still Emma Stone. But Kathryn Hahn looks like a completely different person. It's like, man, she's like 4 completely different pretty people. What the hell? This is weird, man.
This isn't fair.
Dude, seriously, she's the I said that she was the John C. Reilly of actresses, and now we're talking about she's the his name just popped out of my head because I'm dumb. The Jared Leto of girls were.
Yeah.
I always say, and I love this joke, and I hope other people like it too, that Jared Leto is like the overpowered anime villain of human beings. It's not fair. Nobody that looks like that should act that well, sing that well, make the choices he makes for the movies he's in. It's completely unfair. That guy is just awesome, and I hate him for it.
It's not right.
It's not right.
What about me?
That's not fair. Jared Leto has everything, and I have nothing.
And it I guess I can. I did watch NXT tonight,
Sweet,
which
man.
was kind of a fun. I thought it was. I thought it was a dang good show. Where we got. We were. I guess the Adam Cole segment at the end was what everybody kind of showed up for, and we can come out and explain what he had been doing as far as super kicking everybody, and he did his whole apology thing. Like Kyle O'Reilly has had some type of injury and couldn't be there, and like we should be having this face to face. I just made a mistake, man. I just want to get back together. When this all blows over, we're gonna get a place together.
Yeah.
And that Roderick Strong comes out to say like Roderick Strong really does have that kind of Seth Rollins saying to where when he talks, just kind of like, oh man, this it's hard to get a lot of oomph behind that nasally voice. But
I understand that it's because of his gear down to the tiny little boots. Roderick Strong is the modern Dean Malenko.
yeah,
He is that good bell to bell, and it's that hard to. And Dean's promos weren't bad. It's just that, I love Roddy Strong, but I hate it for him.
yeah. So well, the conclusion of tonight's show was that I don't think it's Adam Cole getting kicked out of the Undisputed Era, but him leaving because Roderick Strong comes down and says, "Look, man, you don't touch her. You
No.
put your hands off her."
No, Biff, you leave her alone.
It's like, when Kyle comes back, I don't think I can protect you from what he's going to do. And that just invites Finn to come down and start. He doesn't even talk. He just comes in and starts beating on people. So Roderick saves Adam from Finn, and they're brothers again, and they're loving each other. And Adam calls like, "You're stupid." And so the era is broken up, and I'm like, sounds awesome.
I can get down with the era being broken up. I can also, for the love of God, I love Marty and Sarah so much, but their freaking love Jones for Pat McAfee needs to stop. Dude, just let it go. Especially when you are telling me that the love triangle or the murder triangle at the top of the AEW ticket right now is champion Finn Balor, Adam Cole, and Kyle O'Reilly. Why in the bloody fuck shit would you want Pat McAfee or any goddamn body else involved in that?
We got to get Pat and the crew in there.
Dude, come on. You got to be kidding me. Dude, Kyle, any two of those guys would be amazing. If you want all three of them trading off, come on, man. That would be the dopest and bestest and coolest shit. And the only thing that would be better is if you can blow the whole thing off and have prick-ass Adam Cole have messed up the Undisputed Era and beaten Finn Balor, and that's when Keith Lee comes back to be, I whooped your ass once for that belt, I'm going to do it again. That's what I want, because obviously WWE ain't going to do a goddamn thing with Keith Lee except fucking ruin him, just like we said.
They already have. They tried.
Course, just like we said, they ain't going to do nothing with him, so send him on back to NXT. Let's do it. I love it. I think that'd be great, man. But anyway, in the meantime, Finn, O'Reilly, and Cole, come on, dude. That is awesome. That's just awesome.
Yeah. And as far as the Elimination Chamber went, I mean, I thought one of the good things, it feels like they've been kind of hearing people from what I can gather anyway, because the show was kind of short, sweet, and to the point.
Cool.
It was, just what was, because everybody kept thinking like, we haven't advertised much. I'm sure they'll probably add some stuff. No, they didn't.
It's okay, man. You don't have to have 3 hours on Monday is a disaster. Has been since you've been doing it. And don't get me wrong, that's not WWE's fault. As far as I know, everything I've heard, they've been trying to get out of that third hour for a couple of years now. It's USA doesn't want to let them out. So the 3 hours a week is ridiculous. A 3 hour pay-per-view you can do, but boy, I tell you, if you can do it in 2:45, now you got something. Now you cooking, man.
And the one thing that a lot of the reviews I've heard, I think, got right was I think they got it right to kick off the show with an Elimination Chamber match, but I think they picked the wrong one because they kicked off with a SmackDown match and nothing could follow that. It was too damn good for anything to follow it. But the one in the main event had a title change, so that's the one they went with and but with it being the SmackDown Elimination Chamber to kick off the show, I like a lot of people, I thought, well, if they're gonna push Cesaro the way they say they're going to, and why not have him win it? And then you realize the step was the winner gets an automatic title match with Roman. It's like, well, shit, they're just going to squash Cesaro. Don't let him win it.
Totally.
And so Daniel Bryan wins and goes straight into his squash from Roman.
Yeah.
Which with it being Daniel, he can handle that, and I think they did it the best they could. But at the same time, the match itself was so good. It's like after that, I mean, it's kind of like, man, I need a break.
Well, I'm very, very disappointed and it sucks because I shouldn't be this way. Is I'm wondering if Cesaro doesn't have the same thing Nakamura's got, where, hey man, just hanging out in Jacksonville all the time might not do it for you. Maybe you don't live here. Maybe you want to see some of the country. So I understand that. But Cesaro signing that deal, I hate that because he is way too good for that company. But at the same time, hey man, I don't know what AEW would do with him. I don't know what New Japan would do with him. So hey man, it's cool. Might as well stick. I love
sometimes
that guy.
the devil,
Yeah, it's like if AEW ain't got nothing for you, then okay, just stick. That's cool. There's nothing wrong with that, man. Like we talk about all the time, man. There's not infinite spaces. And I get that shit all the time. Where it's like, we should AEW guy. You think everyone should sign with AEW? I'm like, nope, you're wrong. I think Adam Cole should sign a billion-year contract with NXT, and I think they should pay him like he's a main roster guy because he's better than the main roster guys. But for the love of Christ, keep him off that main roster because you don't need to do that. Adam Cole is NXT's Shawn Michaels. Leave him there forever. Basically, what they tried to do with Gargano and Ciampa, this is the guy you should have done that with.
Yeah.
For the love of God, let's go. Because Adam Cole is out of this world fantastic. And Cesaro is too, and I'd love to see him anywhere where we could actually see him. But how cool would that be? I was thinking this, talking about, the quiet guys and stuff like that. What if Cesaro and Roddy Strong were a tag team? That would be awesome. That's like the modern Midnight Express, man. Get them a talker and put them out there. But you fired your talker because she wanted to have a Twitch stream. By the way, have you heard that rumor? The Selena Vega rumor. Boy, howdy. On the subject of what we're talking about. The rumor is that fella, Anthony Khan, down in Jacksonville, wants to hire Selena Vega. Guess what he wants to hire her to do? He wants to hire her to be the manager of Santana and Ortiz.
Okay.
That's what I said, brother. I'm like, now that is a hell of an idea. Because with where they're headed with the Inner Circle, for the love of God, hit the fucking gas already. Because I am so sick of MJF doesn't do it for me. I love his matches, but his let me be clear, his promo, singular, his promo doesn't do nothing for me. It's the same shit talk that everyone uses. Well, I'm a heel. You're not supposed to like me. Grand. I turned the fucking channel. That's not what I'm supposed to do. Eddie Kingston's a heel too. I ain't never turning it when he's on.
Yeah.
But for the love of God, let's get where the fuck we're going with breaking up the Inner Circle. And break up the Inner Circle and have MJF have the two big guys be his beat up guys and stuff like that. Dude, seriously, hit the gas on breaking up the Inner Circle, let Jericho go away, cut his fucking hair, and then come back and either be your Mr. McMahon on-screen presence, who's the executive vice president, or put him on commentary full-time, get him out of the ring, he's done, stop it. Have MJF move on and be the guy, win the fucking TV title, and get to what... I love the long Con, I love the slow burn. But, brother, you can't do it with every fucking thing.
Yeah.
I know you can't hit the gas on Omega. You can't. You're waiting on New Japan to be like, yes, we're going to have Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi. That's what they're doing, and that's cool. Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if you have a couple of belt swaps before then, because the whole exploding deathmatch bullshit, what the fuck ever they have signed for him and Moxley, it wouldn't surprise me if Moxley won it, because I could be totally wrong, but I don't think I am. John Moxley's got creative control. He's got at least a couple, if not 3, title runs in his contract because you were stupid and gave him the fucking world when you should have offered it to Kevin Owens. You should have offered it to Cesaro. Should have offered it to half a dozen guys in that company instead of John Moxley, but you didn't. So this is what you left with.
Yeah.
Anyway, all that junk. The main event picture in AEW is boring as shit to me because I hate Moxley. The tag team stuff is okay. I really wanted Santana and Ortiz to beat the Young Bucks, though, because I think it's way more interesting if you have them and Jericho and MJF, Santana and Ortiz and Ortiz win, and then you can break up Jericho. I guess my thing, I just am ready for them to break up the fucking Inner Circle. It's coming. Everyone knows it's coming. For the love of God, let's get on with it. And then get MJF his singles title, because I think everybody knows that's where that's going to, and man, we'll all be better off. But Santana and Ortiz as a focused tag team with her as their manager, dude, that would be out of this world cool. And then you can move on to stuff that I actually want to see, like Santana and Ortiz against the Revival, Santana and Ortiz versus Jurassic Express. There's tons of stuff. I love those guys. There's tons of stuff I'd like to see them do. So let's get on with it, man.
Heck yeah, man. Sounds like the plan.
I would love it. I just wish the fuck they would go on something. Because, again, the world title, you can't do anything with that right now because you've got a plan. And I like that you have a plan. But, just, man, don't stall on all of it, man. Come on, let's go. Let's go, man. And also, Tony needs to stop talking about them 6-man belts and get them the fuck out there. Come on. Do it. Everybody, look. Tell me right now, if you had 6-man titles in AEW, you can have a tournament, you can have a one-off match, you can do whatever you want to, man. But you have Eddie Kingston and Butcher and Blade against Hangman Page, and I'm assuming they would do Silver and what's his nuts, the guy everyone loves.
The other one.
Yeah, so why not? That would be fine, man. I think that's right. I don't remember that guy's name. Anyway. Because the thing is, if you give the belts to the Dark Order, you can always move them around. That'd be hilarious to have a Freebird rule for a faction, and it's just 83 people that show up. That would be cool. But anyway, I'm sorry, I'm getting way sidetracked, man. I'm enjoying AEW. It's way too goddamn much Moxley these days. Jesus Christ, he gets 2 interview sections and a fucking match, even on Dark, and it's like, will you get this fucker out of my way? I hate that guy, obviously. I hate that guy, and I'm done with him. And it's like, you got to be kidding me. He don't need this much camera time. I get it. He's in the main event picture. He's going to wrestle for the world title. Grand. I already knew that, didn't I? Moving the hell on, especially on Dark. What the fuck, man? He has to be on Dark? No, there's lots of people that need that match time more than him. Get at it. I hate that stuff, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, dadgummit. Anyway, I was thinking of something the other day about... I know I've mentioned to you before that I really do want MJF. I talk shit about it because I just hate his promo. It's not as good. MJF is like The Miz. Everyone talks about how great their heel promo is, and I'm like, well, first of all, it's singular. They only have one. And secondly, I didn't care for it the first fucking time. It doesn't impress me to go out and do the same thing every time. Come out and talk a bunch of shit because I'm better than you, and you know it. Yeah, CM Punk had that fucking slogan about 10 years ago, but 20 years ago now. You really need to rework that one. It's like, how hard is it to come? It's just, do you smell what The Rock is cooking? I love The Rock, but the thing about The Rock is what made his promos good. You cannot bottle. It's not what he said. It's who was saying it. It's that guy. Yeah. You can't manufacture that. I'm sorry. You can come out and say the same 5 things all you want to. Don't make them a catchphrase. Anyway, I'm getting way sidetracked. AEW is obviously ticking me off. There's a lot there that I really like, but man, it's got nothing to do with the top end, because I guess that's my frustration is with Kenny being the champ, you know he's going to be tied to Moxley for a while, which sucks, because I think Moxley's god-awful. but eventually we'll actually have decent matches. But the thing about the TV title, I think MJF beating Darby Allin for it's a good idea. Because for all the talk about MJF's the best heel in the business, he's the best heel, he's such a good heel, MJF. Okay, have him beat somebody I want to see him not beat. Everybody likes Darby Allin. Darby Allin's popular as crap. So have him screw Darby Allin for the title, and now he's the TV champ. And keep doing it. And I give you a good one to do right before you hand it off. Because when it's time for him to lose the belt, he needs to lose it to Jungle Boy. That's just the way it needs to be. It's the way it needs to be.
Yeah.
But that's way down the line. Because, again, I like a slow burn. I want MJF to have that belt for a hot minute. I'm cooler. I would much rather have MJF be the TV champ for a long time than Omega have a long run as the world champ, because he's going to be in the world title picture for, God, probably the next 5 years. So that's fine. You have MJF beat anybody that comes down the pike and screw over people that people like. That's the key. The first guy's Darby Allin. Then it's whatever scrub he deigns worthy of his time. Then you have to go through the gauntlet and beat the big guys to get to him, and then he screws you over in the final. Then Sammy Guevara comes back for his old two-fisted revenge, and MJF beats his ass too. The guy that I think you give to MJF right before you move him into the picture with Jungle Boy is Rey Fenix. Because Rey Fenix is the baddest singles wrestler AEW's got. And I think if you play it right, you can get people sufficiently pissed off at him continuously jobbing guys and screwing guys la-di-da when he's clearly outmatched and wrestling a guy that's so much better than he is. And then he fucks Rey Fenix, that's going to piss everyone off. And then you have Jungle Boy beat him. That's what I would do. I think that would be the coolest. And I would also love to see Rey Fenix get a TV title match, because he's the man. I love that guy.
Heck yeah, man.
I love it.
It's a good stuff.
It is, man. That is. If I was ranking everybody in AEW as far as like who I'm most excited by in ring, Ray's. I'm not even sure who number 2 is, but Rey Fenix would be 1. Kenny's probably 2, because I do love Kenny's matches, man. But boy, Rey Fenix is spectacular. God, he's good.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
That's pretty much everything I know of that's going on.
Yeah, man. I don't think I done much of nothing except for the Crown and the Hawks. Boy, howdy, I'm gonna tell you something right now.
Oh yeah.
Ray Young apparently woke up this morning real pissed off about being snubbed at the All-Star game, because he was. And don't get me wrong, I know what I think they're doing. Far be it for anyone to talk about it, because we've all been too busy crying in our Cheerios over Devin Booker got screwed. Devin Booker should have made the All-Star team. Where does Devin Booker play? Phoenix, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the Western Conference, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anthony Davis for the Los Angeles Lakers made the All-Star team, didn't he?
Yeah.
Anthony Davis also just hurt the shit out of himself. So you got a spot on the Western Conference All-Star team opened up. How the fuck did nobody,
it's going to be fine.
How did not everybody know that was going to happen? So cool your tits, Michael Wilbon, about your fucking homeboy, Devin Booker. Oh, I live in Phoenix now. Devin Booker should be the All-Star team. He's going to, because Anthony Davis ain't going to play. There's your spot in the West. Your boy Zach LaVine for Chicago made the Eastern All-Stars, which he should, to be fair. Zach's not the guy that should have got bumped for Trey. The guy that should have got bumped for Trey was Jason Tatum. And I love Jason Tatum. But Boston's record is sorry as shit. They do not need 2 guys on that team. Jaylen Brown deserves to go. Trae Young deserves to go. Top 10 in points, top 3 in assists, and he's not going to the fucking All-Star game in his own building? Let me tell you why. One is Steve Nash, who I'm still mad at for running his fucking mouth because he's got the easiest job in all of basketball. Where is the criticism for Nash that Steve Kerr got murdered for? Steve Kerr, he's got the Warriors, he's got the big 3. I mean, it's so easy. They drafted their guys and signed Durant. The Nets did not draft Kyrie Irving, did not draft James Harden, did not draft Kevin Durant. Where's the criticism? Where's the criticism? Where is the assessment that the East is so easy to win? Because now that LeBron's not there anymore, well, I mean, the East isn't as bad as it was a few years ago. Well, the East didn't have any goddamn thing like the Nets a few years ago. So, again, where's the logic? Where's the objectivity? people's obsession with hating LeBron James drives me up the wall, obviously. I can't stand that junk, and it makes me nuts. And I really do love Steve Nash. But he ticked me off with this crybaby crap. I know what he's doing. It's not a problem because he's just investing. Just in case they come across the Hawks in the playoffs, you want to get the calls. Hey, man, it's not smart. It's actually good coaching, especially for a first-year guy. Pardon me. But that coupled, and man, I love Trey. Love the guy. And he's very popular, actually, for as much little crap talking junk as he does. He's actually quite popular with the guys that play the game with him. But you can't fucking yell at the referees to the tune of $20,000 a week before the All-Star game and not have it bite you in the ass. And that sucks, and it's bullshit, but that's what happened to him. I guarantee you that's what happened to him. Is the coaches saw that, and the union, the ref union got huffy. So the coaches are like, okay, hands off. We got to slap Trey on the wrist. And that sucks, man. That sucks. And I'm tired of hearing whining about Devin Booker because I'm telling you, if you didn't know, they announced today he officially got that spot. I'm like, dude, if you needed them to officially tell you that, you're as stupid as I was for not recognizing Brie Larson in those Nissan commercials.
Calm down, they're gonna be fine.
Captain Marvel's gonna make the All-Star team, y'all. They'll get that look-alike from the Nissan commercials if they got to.
Do her? What?
That's her? What? I'm just gonna get on my boat and just sail off, man.
Bet you scroll.
I might be too stupid to pilot this boat.
I'm gonna sink this bitch.
I'm going to sink this bitch. That's still one of my favorite things I've ever seen. That dude's so proud, man.
It's the captain of the Titanic.
Dude, that's so awesome. Captain
yeah,
of the
man.
PCS World Tag Team Championship.
Get on the boat. Briscoe's gonna fall off the boat.
Rick fell off the boat. Hey. Eric fell off the boat.
Uh-oh.
Master storyteller Ricky Morton, man. That's truthful. That's not sarcastic. He really is fantastic. Man, I got you stuck, dude. I'm sorry to say. Our timer's still going, but the man is stuck in limbo. So I'm going to assume, actually I'm going to send him a text message. See if we're doing okay. Man, the dang old screen froze. I talk faster than I type, y'all. Sorry. What the hell? All right.